It's like kind of hard to reach them. Sick. Because I asked the real like. It was like a big graph. So it's like before I had to like move stuff like that. Make sure it doesn't make it because I didn't feel like even if I had that, I can do probably oil change on it. It's like something I think it's just kind of it's like especially being on the Mercer game. I have friends that have those street next to it. Especially since they work on trucks and stuff, so it's real easy. It's like work. Yeah, I have a jack still pretty much at home. It's not breaking up that jack's like
oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no, I was expecting.
So runner?
Yeah. No, I didn't see that. Yeah. Oh, I don't usually get on this. That's crazy, bro. That's everything. Yeah, it's kind of a weird. That's what we changed.
What do you know? I got about like 7. We're going. It's cool because I'm not that more deals. Is that
I have the GDP and this, but then again, you have all your discs. Yeah, but like now, you know, we plug and play at lunch. Yeah, that's fine. Well, then we went into like sister dash keyboard and then SDA 1 and SDA 3. So okay, so
you don't get
like I was like these, there's like this
your mouse slash
no. But this
oh right here
so that just confirms 1400 elevation.
Imagine like the lakes at like 600 and it keeps going down. All the way down.
Yeah, when you get
So you can just see everything. I'm just like, this is wild.
look at him. Yeah, but you can make that look over. Don't be looking over. Don't be looking over, Chris. Dude, look at your own stuff. And then
not one guy that shoes. So So I was like,
Stop.
no, this shit. I'll play some over to that. I'm like, this is like, I want an IC. Actually, I want one of those. Or yeah. That's what I want.
But so, I was talking to his dad for that.
But
Yeah, I guess it's not so purely just- I think so.
That gives me an idea.
They can't do that.
I do that, I don't think I'm slash.
It wasn't me.
No.
These-
Well, yeah, I didn't tell you. It wasn't me. I didn't get it.
Let's be okay.
This is obviously.
There's only 10 of us in here. You're the only one that got kicked. So it wasn't me. I was still. I was still.
So they don't.
No, I know exactly.
So I don't want to tell you, I know exactly.
That's the.
Because I know who I told. Exactly.
Yeah, I already put some stuff.
But like I said, it wasn't. Not even to like the people who know, like the people who can't say it. It wasn't like that.
I know.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna start that. But that's the whole thing, because you have to know.
I didn't know that. I just knew that person that did it for that.
But it's not even him though, it's him fucking. They're the ones who said it's not right.
I know for sure. Like this last.
He did a kid, and he's like,
It's just, I don't know what's going on.
I know for certain about this. The best.
Of course. It's not in your hours who are who's doing it. You can probably figure out. You know, Alex, this is probably his first relationship.
The average.
So he was just took it.
I guess like.
So we're actually on the back of the
So yeah, it's very like, no, it wasn't.
Well, I mean,
If he said.
So those partitions are still just the
I'm trying to go.
That's how it is. That was just now. That one, I didn't realize.
I think it was just, yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday or Tuesday, we found out.
I mean, you know, one time, you know, yeah. I'm not in it. I don't know. Technical is showing it. I'm not in that other shop.
I don't think we can do it.
of course not. I know Wednesday. That just so happened. You found out.
No, I know for it. Mine is still.
I mean, that's yesterday was. We saw a message yesterday, but I don't know that message.
Okay. Because,
I think I might have been.
I just had to do like.
Yeah.
Slap you. It's like I already made conversations with 10 people. It's not. Well, sorry, it's not happening. Or yeah, apparently.
So on day one.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure like Gentoo.
Yeah.
I talked to
Other than that, it's Friday now. It's Friday now.
The doors. Like they have.
I know.
Like
Just seen a video.
well, we know how to.
Wait, you didn't know. I'm not saying it.
Actually, it's like.
Don't worry about it.
No, like.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. What are you talking about? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, then we go. For tonight.
They already offered it. I've always seen.
That's like
But they look fun.
EXT for SD1.
We got it. That's all I'm gonna say. We gotta cut like. That is himself.
Try recreating the
Coaching doesn't work.
Let's
No, there's a
take a
difference if
step
you
back.
work
Himself because he doesn't know.
Just try it, man.
There's a complete difference.
Just try it. Just try it.
No, it would be.
Not exactly.
If that's the case, then we go to the natural disc. SDA1.
I'm just stating the facts, and I'm just being straightforward with you.
Jumping back. SDA.
Dude, I would be.
Okay, and then you lose.
Man, and you made it the office week, it doesn't work. Man, you just throw it. No, yeah, I'm just being yeah, listen, you're not gonna help out the man if you know he's throwing it up. It is helping him out. Okay, he's like, I need advice, yeah. Yourself, and it doesn't work. That's shit. You don't want to force a relationship. No, of course you're not gonna force a relationship, but like, you're also not gonna stay in it. You can't leave each other. Just do it.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't. If it doesn't work.
At the same time, you say,
Oh, nice. I live with him, guys. Of course, yeah.
I'm not going to side effects.
yeah, my dad did the same thing. He's just 14 months. So. Respect.
What partitions?
I mean, respect.
Yeah, just be upfront with somebody. Be upfront with them.
VMware virtual.
Maybe not like that.
I'm not gonna spell Rick.
You're just confirming it very little by little. I know they.
No, that's not really not.
Yeah.
Oh, right here. That's what I said. I'm going to say that, yo, I'm not going to. You got a fresh disc.
I'm just gonna do that just read these
partitions.
Yes.
That's, yeah. I mean,
At least he has.
You know, Joe.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Make sure we're good. Okay, step one. Partition number.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
First sector, we should default. Okay. And last sector plus 5, 6, 10. Enter.
You know, the
Yeah.
I just got it down like that.
Now do B.
I had no.
I mean, like I do it when I got.
Again. Leave partition numbers default. First sector default. Last sector plus G.
As soon as that was that,
Enter. And partition two. Linux. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Now.
You guys still?
D again.
Yours go.
Now D.
My face like.
so it's that.
Enter.
No, ever since.
Oh, we're
Swap. Yep. Should say it's swap. Yep. Now do P. Verify. Now do
Yeah.
No,
Here we go. Just to reboot.
Oh, yeah, that's what I learned. That's what I learned.
There it goes. Hit your button.
I finished. Was I last? Am I the last?
No.
No? Okay. No, not the first.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's the people back there from
I was Firefox. So
Oh,
I was just letting it run.
Are you ready?
And you're done?
Yeah.
You're done? Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
Wait,
back and forth.
don't rush. We're 5 days into it.
Yeah.
Take another one. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
How much more? I think there's only 2 more pages, right?
Yes, they got that.
Yes, but there's quite a few commands.
There's
There's,
on
there's-
SDA
yeah,
one,
there's- we're not out of the woods yet, but we're getting close.
Probably done by next Wednesday.
I'm hoping we finish today. I'm hoping we finish today.
Beautiful. Now do it for
Knock it out. That'd be nice.
3.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't touch it.
I know what to do.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure. We're just gonna say that it's last down itself. And then you'll MK swap.
Other than be yourself, do you know how
Yep.
Okay, really quick, show of hands, who's still
Then
compiling?
swap on.
Okay, we still got a few. Okay, let's wait.
If you can do something like that, just change naturally. You don't have to do a specific.
SDA2.
That's where.
That'll activate. Okay, now do your mount. SDA3.
Another thing that.
/0/3.
You're trying to get rid of something.
I'm telling you, it wins everything over. Keep on going.
Now do
$100, we keep green.
Oh, wow.
No, let me go to the bank.
I got you. Okay, so just check in. You have dev/SR1.
For a while, it was cheaper, but I didn't like it. They were too much, so then that's stuff around. Now that I'm in college, I got like $10 mobile.
Loop. I still don't have boot. It's fine, it's fine. Boot's not gonna be this. Yeah. But we never specified. Try to specify.
Like I said. Yeah.
Oh,
No, ask me, ask like. Girl asked them.
Let me change the time for a sec.
At this point, we were.
Yeah, you're like interrogating me over it. Like,
At this point, I'd just be as if I didn't tell you.
So now when I do LS, be okay.
Once again, there you go. I already knew this was the beginning of the when he was first in the home. Right there,
Whatever. Anyway,
So when you. You're still going to. Have you ever seen those gender reveal?
but that's for a baby. They don't know what that is.
this.
Yeah.
Because if you keep it secret, everyone wants to know. They're like, oh.
It works differently.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in mine.
Yeah, I got it.
And then you were kicked out.
They have.
Because I told you.
You know, it's gonna copy.
Yeah.
That night.
Yeah, you're right. And then you waste the
You done? We have our own table.
Now you're just.
That's an argument.
I have the same change.
I mean, if you ever just talk to me, I mean, every Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, your teeth is very
Every Saturday.
You're gonna have to figure that This is so bad. This is so bad. I can open it. That'd be good. That's another
Okay, she'll probably check this out.
Slash 2021 2021 11 capital T 1705 slash stage 3 dash and D64.
The one I have is just
2021 11
Just right there.
Can we run the making golf command? Can we run that out command? Are we running the making golf command next?
Yeah, so the next couple of commands are gonna go pretty quick. We've got a couple people that are still running this one.
I'm gonna run the make install command.
Oh.
See?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It's gonna come back just like that.
Okay, no worries.
Okay?
Oh,
But you can run it if you want.
Oh, look, okay, good. Nice.
All right, okay.
On me.
I thought it. Make.
Oh, yeah, we gotta scroll.
I thought it was gonna like take forever.
We got places to be, we got things to do. I have it in here, it's just down here.
How did it go?
Yeah, temporary failure, but how about? Look at that.
I feel like you're airing that.
No, it's
Where's your
I'm
second?
running on my straight up Gentoo.
Too bad.
I was, now, where did it go?
What'd you do now?
Scroll. We're still scrolling.
Yeah, it's all we command.
And rewrite, just, not rewriting, just straight up deleting something. And then things like, there's a lot going on, like the Linux Mint, the partition stuff, never stays. There's a lot going on here. Jesus Christ. It was like
So you think the nano code?
Yeah.
we're finding the working nano in this. Yeah.
Robert, are you still dialing back?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There's like
Okay, we're gonna give you guys a couple more minutes. Okay, and if you're not done, we're gonna move on and force you to look at the webpage to catch up.
/portage /make.com. Make as in M-A-K.
Is this all?
yeah.
He wants to finish it.
And then yeah, that stuff didn't save, or no, well, out of that.
That's that.
Let's go back. Matt, oh my God.
If you screwed something up, yeah, well,
You go to this file.
if you screwed something up, yeah, pull it off the live CD. Okay, go through those commands we saved in the other window.
Portage.
Mount your disk again, you have to go through the make.com, or the make, config thing.
Apparently this is.
You have your March meeting in here.
Yeah. I don't know how to get this smaller one. I think we did before. I think I had this close and restart my shell.
This is more local. They seem to be the same.
Oh, make it big. I just install.
And I think we did this during like network configures. Hang up dumb.
Yeah,
I
just-
might actually have a step that I probably could have done.
Okay. 55 more seconds and then we're moving on.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday.
What are you doing? No, you're almost done.
Enter.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
What?
Questions?
We don't have videos.
We had big by the.
I can't answer.
He does.
I have no idea what they're talking
What slide are you now? You said that's It does the same thing.
They're the ones who pose the question. If they pose the question, hopefully they have an answer. Yeah, okay.
But I can.
All right, Aaron, David, still going?
Still trying. I don't know why though, because I started when you started. We're not done yet.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, the next couple of commands are fairly short and quick. Okay, you guys have this webpage up, right? Okay, you're following on here, Aaron. You have this webpage up, Robert?
Yeah.
Okay, bring this webpage up. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with the next couple of commands. Okay, you guys should be able to catch up fairly quickly on them once you get your prompt done. Okay, so we're gonna do the make install. Yeah.
I have a question. There's like this main,
Yeah.
no rule to make arguments. So,
That doesn't mean you broke
No,
everything,
wait.
make modules and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so we didn't actually, that's fine.
okay.
Oh, you probably spelled
Slash
it wrong.
Etsy.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So, but you know what?
Resolved.
We didn't make any modules.
That's.
Okay.
So we just executed that command because it was recommended there. So you can skip that one.
Okay.
Okay, so what we did is we compiled a kernel, okay? That compile is sitting here in this directory. It creates it in this directory, the same place where we compiled it. There's probably gonna be too much for us to see on the screen, but if we do an ls, oh, there we go. If you do an ls command, okay, you can see it right there, VM Linux. Okay, that's what we just made. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to copy this over to the boot directory, because the boot directory is where we have to have the image of our kernel image for it to find on boot. Okay, so this make install command that we're going to execute next, okay, is going to take this executable that we just generated and copy it over to the boot directory. Okay, so let's do that make install. Okay. So it took that and it copied it over here to the boot image or the boot directory. Okay, so we need to scroll down here. We don't need to do an init fs. We don't need to do a gen kernel. We don't need to do the distributed kernels piece. We just need to do this upgrading and cleanup section down here. Okay, upgrading and cleanup. So we need to do the emerge. -- dep clean. Oops, let's spell that right. Okay, this is cleaning up the dependencies.
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we need to do this next one, the emerge prune.
So you don't even have an external.
Okay, let's copy this this command, the prune syskernel Gentoo kernel, and then Gentoo kernel bin. Okay, that's going to clean up some disk space on our system.
Okay, nice.
Okay, we didn't find anything there. We don't need to worry about that. Okay. You know what? We actually don't need to do any of these. These are part of the other kernel module or other kernel stuff. Sorry, we could have skipped all those. Okay. It didn't do any damage. Don't panic. Okay, didn't do any damage. Okay, we didn't configure any kernel models or kernel modules, so we don't need to worry about that. So we're just, yeah, we can just go into the next page, configuring the system. Okay? So after make install, we can just go directly to configuring the system. Sorry, I got confused there for a minute. Okay, so we need to create an FS tab file. You guys remember doing an FS tab file when we were talking about file systems?
Yeah. That sounds like when you do that, sure that this is on that.
Okay, if you scroll down a little bit,
That's the power.
Regular aesthetic.
I think that's.
Here is a copy of the FS tab file that we need to create.
It's at a static.
Okay, so if you've got this web page up, if you've got the web page up, you can do a select on all of this text. Okay. Technically, I guess we don't need a CD-ROM, but because it's there, we can go ahead and copy it. Let's copy that text. And we need to come over to our system, change directory, or just vi/etsy/fs tab. From here, we can just edit it directly with the full path name, vi/etsy/fs tab. And we need to add to the bottom of this file the stanzas that we had, or the lines that we found here for our definition. Okay, because we're using ext4 for both our boot and our root partitions, all of the rest of this is correct for our system. Okay, did everybody get that copied in? No, still working on it? Okay.
Wait, why don't we speak?
Oh,
Main system. It's okay, the main system is like you just install a fresh copy. Did that fix your connection? Tracking the answer. Okay. Now go do the.
You're already on the device, so go to.
Tracking. Oh, that works too. We did it. Well, it's talking to the networks now, so. It's so touchy.
Okay, so
It turned itself on. Wait, Jeremy, how do we get to
okay, did everybody get this now?
I'm done.
Everybody got FS tab?
No, because I can't copy and paste, so.
Oh, so you're typing it in? Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait for you.
So we just do this at the bottom.
This is, it's really important that you get this correct, okay, that you don't have any typos in it. So, Erin, watch her typing, okay, help her out. Okay, have any of you guys completed your install? No, you're still compiling?
Right at the end, I'm still.
We just got out of drivers.
Okay,
Last part.
okay, still working on it. All right.
I'm not gonna do the control.
Good job, man.
You sure?
Not this.
They're just observing for a minute.
Not in this.
Okay, so while she's typing that, let's go ahead and look at the next thing that's coming up in our guide that we're following. Okay, so we need to set our host and domain information. Okay, so the host name for our system is configured in this file here, etsyconf.d hostname file. Okay, so we want to go out and we want to edit that and set the host name to whatever we want for our system. I've called my system over here, well, you can't see it, but on the tab up there, I called it Fuego. You probably chose another name for your system, but we want to set that in here. Okay, and then we want to set our networking. The networking is a little bit more complex. Okay, so let's make sure we can all do that together here. Are you good to go?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm still in my Etsy FS tab file. So I'm going to hit escape and then hit :X to get out and save that file. Okay, remember your FS tab file is really critical. So if you didn't cut and paste, you might want to cat that out and just look at the output and make sure that you don't have any typos in there anywhere. Okay, so let's change directory to /etc/conf.d. conf.d, /conf.d. There's a couple files that we need to edit in here. The first one is hostname. So let's vi hostname. Hostname, yes, all one word. Okay, so in here, okay, we need to change this localhost to whatever we want the name of our system to be. I'm going to change mine to Fuego. You can change yours to whatever you want. Okay, once you make the change, we can go ahead and save that file and get out.
It's still downloading.
Okay, just checking my file. I can't out.
Did you change your directory?
I'm in the tconf.d directory. Okay, did everybody get the hostname set? All right, the other file we need to edit in here is the network configuration file. Okay, so we want to edit the net file. Okay.
Yeah.
The net file by default.
We created.
It says it's not exist by default.
Doesn't exist, so we need to create it.
So you just do vi net.
Yes.
VI space.
Yep, VI space net. Okay, so the only thing we need really in here is DNS, the DNS domain thing. So do DNS underscore domain underscore LO equals home network. Okay, we're actually going to be making some more modifications to this when we get to the DNS section where we configure DNS. So let's just leave that for now. That comment line that's on the web page here. Okay, this line here is just a comment line. If you want to set that, you can, or if you want to type that in, you can, but you don't need it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of here. And then we need to get around to configuring the network itself. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to install the tools that allow us to access and configure the network. So we want to do an emerge. I'm going to leave off the ask command. Just do the -- no replace net - miscellaneous net ifrc. Oh, we should have done this first, but.
Should have, could have, would have.
Yep, should have, could have, would have. Okay, so we need to go back in and we need to edit that same file again. So go back into the net file. And we need to add a configuration for our network card. So we need to do, you can see the static definition, we're doing static IP addresses on our system. So we need to add this line right here for our Ethernet configuration. Okay. So let's do config underscore eth0 equals, and then we need to specify what we want our configuration to be. Okay, for that, we need to look at our network drawing. I don't remember what I'm using for. Oh, you know what? This should be our NAT network. For our NAT network. So yeah, we're configuring the first one. We need, sorry, my mistake. We're not using a static IP address. We're using a DHCP. Okay, so this is going to be our NAT network. We'll come back in and we'll configure the networks for our other two systems later. So let's just get it up on the NAT network to start off with. So for ETH0, we can just do DHCP client daemon. Oh, no, we just need DHCP, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay, just DHCP. Okay. So the other thing we need to do is we need to configure network so that it starts automatically. Yeah.
We need to change the name of our network interface to what we have on Gentoo. Because I have ENS or ENP2S1.
Okay.
So I put that instead of TH0.
Yeah, so it depends on if you've got that name right now, somewhere in the configuration, we set it to ETH0. I thought we did somewhere. Did we set it somewhere?
No.
No, it's showing up as EMPs. Yeah.
So do we change it to that?
Okay, yeah, so we should change it to that. Okay, if you do an ifconfig command, this is our network adapter. Instead of ETH0, okay, it should show up as this value. Make sure you do the ifconfig command and use whatever value you have.
So. What'd you do? What's wrong now?
Good catch, Giovanni. Okay, did everybody get that change made? Yeah.
After we do make install, where do we head down to?
After make install,
Okay, so you did this.
Um,
Do this tar XPF.
after make install, we went.
The merge stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to do that. I think we did that, the depth clean, I don't think
It was
FS
tab.
Yeah, it should have been. So also the reason.
Yeah, we didn't have any chronologies. Just go to the next page, configuring the system. And start off with the FS tab file.
Okay.
Where are we here? Here we go. Okay, so we want networking to start up when we boot. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to change directories out here to the init.d directory. Okay, this is an OpenRC. This is the way OpenRC works. Okay, so the way we need to do it is we need to create a new file so that it tells it that we have this new interface and we want it to start up. So change directories out to /etc/init.d. And if we look at what's out here right now, we have this file called net.lo. Okay, that's the loopback interface. Okay, the configuration for the loopback interface. If we look at that file, you don't need to do this, but if I VI that file, net.lo, okay, if you read through the shell script, it's a generic shell script using OpenRC that's going to look for interfaces of the name after the dot. So in this case, the LO, the loopback network. Okay, so whatever we have after that dot, that's the network interface it's going to look for, and it's going to try and bring it up. If you want to read through this, it's a couple hundred lines, 900 lines long. Okay, but basically it's a generic script that's looking for any network interface. So what we want to do is we want to create a new file like this that has the name of the interface that we want it to bring up. So in S1. Okay, so when we create this link, this symbolic link, we do an ls, ls now, okay, we can see that we now have this file net enp2s1. Okay, this is a symbolic link to this file. Okay, which again is just a generic interface that, or a generic program that's going to look for this name, this interface, and start it up. So when you come back in here to add your network for both sides of the firewall, so the firewall is going to have 2 more network interfaces, you're going to need to create 2 more versions of this file, okay, symbolic links that have the name of those 2 networks, okay, those 2 additional networks. Okay, the last thing we need to do is we need to do that RC update command. Okay, this is how we add services in an open RC command, ENSP or ENP2S1. Okay, remember this, do you remember the system CTL command that we used to enable something on boot? System CTL enable, and then the service that we wanted to. Okay, this is doing that equivalent thing here. Okay, RC update, add this service to the default configuration. So the default configuration is going to say when you move into default mode, okay, this is going to get started. Okay, so we can go ahead and hit enter. Should tell us that that's added to the default. Okay, the Etsy host file is where we can put some static configurations for host names. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to be getting DNS up and running on this system here shortly. So we can skip that section. We don't have PCMCIA. So okay, we need to set the password for our system. So let's execute password. This is going to configure it in our change root environment.
Are we doing the hosts file or today?
No, we're going to skip the host file. So what password are we changing? This is the root password for when you reboot the system. What password do you want to use to log into the system? What? Did you forget your password?
No. I just already used it.
We use the same one again.
It doesn't let me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was there?
It's not there, it's not saying it's not strong enough.
I could choose a good
Oh.
password.
Same thing, but that's because they're equal. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I got an error whenever the
Matt nerd, 2021. Jeremy nerd, 2021. Plus, we're all nerds, 2021.
Oh, so you linked this to. Oh, so this link command didn't actually do anything. So there should be net.hello space net.in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you do that command, you have slash, no.
Why is it my wrong?
No, that should be right.
That's right.
No, it should say net dot. So go back over, put a, no, over, right, back. Now type net. And then,
Our little mishap.
Do an
Pop
LS.
OS removed the ability to uninstall
Okay, so that's what you wanted to create. You created this one.
Mine's
So
technically
you
tried to
move that
uninstall a desktop.
So just do
Now
this.
it's
I'm gonna need to.
Space.
I'm gonna put it on backwards.
Okay, so you're, so now try the RC update.
Which is, I'll
Yeah, see here you
Install whatever I
Right,
want.
This is where you can see how the services are.
This is Linux, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, everybody got their password changed? Yes. What's that?
What's waiting for host
First, you should.
FS tab?
Yeah.
There's an example right in the webpage.
Yeah.
Okay, scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so you just need to put this into your FS tab file. So just
That's
open
part of
it
it.
up. Okay, so all of
Now
that.
you're able to change that name.
Okay. Okay, we have a couple other configuration steps that we need to do here. So let's edit our etcrc.conf file. Actually, we don't need to. So we don't need to do that. We don't need to play around with the key maps. Okay, let's check the hardware clock file. So let's vi/etsy/conf.d/hardware clock. Yeah, HW clock.
I just missed how far you scrolled.
Okay, it recommends that we change this from UTC to local.
The hosting one.
Oh, right.
Places.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about this one or this one, but we do need to edit this. Okay. This last one. Make sure you look at that hardware clock file, edit that hardware clock, and change the clock from UTC to local. Okay, once you've done that, we can go ahead and get out of that file.
After the password change, we only did the clock one, right?
Did we change key maps? And
Yes.
RC?
Yep, after the password change, the only one we did was the clock. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of that file and we're on to installing tools.
Yeah.
So do we need the,
He's gonna recruit you, Brad.
No, don't worry about that section. Okay, is everybody got the hardware clock?
Not yet. Where's the clock equals local? Where is that?
Army career advisor.
He's a recruiter. See, we already have it. Go for it, Brad.
Okay, are we done with the hardware clock, or do we need another minute? We're good? Okay. All right, let's move on to installing tools. Okay, we definitely need a system logger. So let's install the system logger. Okay, so there's two commands that we need to execute here, the emerge app dash admin / syslog. Okay, you definitely want to do that. I'm going to cheat and put this on the same command line.
After most of us hit enter.
Syslog default.
It's a quick slide.
Okay, so we need to execute both those commands. If you want to do it on the same command line, you can with a double ampersand in between them. If you've already done it, go ahead and do it as two commands. Either way, it's fine. Okay, did everybody get that done? Eli? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Copy.
All right. So we don't need a cron DB. We don't need file indexing.
Not guilty.
We do want remote access. Okay, so we're moving down to the remote access. We want to enable SSH so that we can get to it later. So we need to do that RC update, add SSHD to default so that it starts
As
out.
it should be.
on boot. Okay, did everybody get SSH added? Okay, that's going to be important later on. Okay, file system tools. What file systems do we have? ext4, yeah, so we need to do a command, we need to execute a command to install our file system tools for ext4. So this is the name of the package. So how are we going to install that? Emerge, okay, and then the name of the package, right? So we can just do emerge sys-fs/e2fs prods.
You have a 2 after. 2's in front of the E2.
Thank you. E2fs proxy. Thanks. Okay, so let's go ahead and emerge that. Okay, on the networking tools.
Sorry, any commands we ran.
So you got this two down. Okay, so you're gonna add a C, what that
On the networking tools, we need to install the DHCP client daemon.
I think that's, that one is.
So as soon as we're done with this one, let's execute that
E2FS props.
emerge command for the client, DHCP client daemon. So not static IP, yeah, so not static IP address, you need to run this one.
E2FS
That's cd.net/net. Yeah, okay, if you read this, it says that it doesn't exist, and so you can create.
Just install the DHCP client. So
It's on DHCP.
Okay, I need to emerge the DHCP client daemon. Let's get it the right way. Where do you emerge sys, what is it? No, net miscellaneous client daemon. I just ran this, the emerge on the client, DHCP client daemon. I just ran this one. Is everybody doing this?
not very computer.
Okay, am I losing you here?
Or like I lost my SSH.
It's not gonna confuse cause that. I just
Not letting me type.
Okay, yeah,
This video will be uploaded today.
yes, yep. Okay, I think this is it. Configuring the bootloader.
Almost done with this 1 week assignment.
I think so.
Okay, we're gonna take the default, okay, for Grub 2.
It's
Grub, random unified bootloader. So we need to do another emerge command, install one more thing here. Sys boot/grub. You could include those other flags if you want, the ask and the verbose.
What is verbose do?
It just spits out more lines of stuff as it's doing its job.
That we really don't care about. We just care that
Yeah,
it.
unless you're gonna read it all, then.
You never know, I might pause it and read it.
Okay,
Just stop it randomly and be like, what are you doing?
Control C.
Control C, stop.
Here we go.
okay, there's a couple comments here about using UEFI. We are not, so we can skip over this, okay? And we need to come down here to the install section, okay? So we're using BIOS. So we're gonna do the default install. We wanna do this just like here. Again, this comment is for UEFI, we don't need that. So we're going to install
I got the network thing done.
grub into the first partition on the SDA drive. So once this command completes, we can do that grub install command.
Now you are towards the beginning of God's class. He's doing it. He's got it.
I like doing that.
Yes.
Yes. No. Lots of configuring, lots of checking. And what happens if I live in Instagram?
Linux, and it's just like,
You'll
nah,
probably see
don't
plenty of people
address
talking
this.
about it.
No,
Then I have to
first
run
read
this.
this.
Thankfully,
Second
I
page,
got these files, so I
not
can
gonna say.
run all these commands, these 3 commands, to get back up. It's cool.
Next thing is hockey. Of course, it knows what my priorities are. If I refresh Facebook, first thing, KSL file, he's cleared. Obviously, the media is gonna hit a frenzy. Watch the coverage on CNN tonight. It's gonna be a fucking shit show.
I got 4 to 5, so.
Shut up.
5 out of 5.
No, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna actually watch it, but I'm going to watch people analyze it. They'll be like, where's the clips from this? And they'll be like,
You're at the
they'll be like,
last
so he shot and killed somebody. Nothing happened to him. Oh my God, he's such a threat. And it's like, no, you guys are more threatened. But he's a 17-year-old kid who shot other people because they were shot.
Well, if the video would still be there, I would just be like.
That's a thing.
Or your whole screen's still.
You run the lawyer.
I don't think I've gotten it.
We schmoovin'.
I can't take it.
We're over here, we're on Zoom, but we're not to the side. You're hungry. You should get
So yeah, you were here not so long.
Jeremy's here.
We did,
Then yes, Matt.
Look at that shit.
so changing the password. Okay, so just do the
All of our computers are taking off.
Okay, it's like here, or like there, mine's like Jason. It's like these 2 lines were moving for a second.
I have W missing braces, W missing braces format. Oh, he's got the same thing. W second pair, W sequence point, W label, W strict aliasing, W pointers.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Yes. Yep.
Free Shabbat to do that.
Still got that much.
So like these
Okay.
lines up.
I was really hoping we could try a reboot today.
And you can.
Okay,
Oh, shit, it's
we've got
already low.
one more command that's gonna complete like that, and then we can try a reboot. Are you guys willing to stick around until we?
I already have sure. I'm just here.
Yeah, so this next command, so we've got the install running now. The last thing we need to do is this grub make config. Okay, do you remember when we changed back at the very beginning of this quarter? Okay, in this other half of this class. Okay, when we changed our timeout, do you remember we changed the timeout on the bootloader?
Yeah.
Okay, so we changed it from 5 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, this is the file that we changed, sorry. We changed the configuration of the bootloader, the configuration file, and we ran this command so that it would take the change that we made and put it into this config file for boot. So that's what we're doing here. We're executing that exact same command here and configuring the boot config file.
So we can run
Okay.
the exact.
So this is the exact command that we need to run. Okay, so once your compile is finished here, oh, and I'm done, we can run this, and then we can run a reboot command. Okay, so there's a couple commands down at the bottom of this that talk about exiting the change root environment and unmounting stuff. You can ignore those, you don't really have to do it.
Do we need to do that grub install still?
Oh, the BIOS.
The grub install dev SDA.
Oh, yeah, we do have to.
Yeah, rebuild the BIOS.
I was like, I thought.
Oh, yes, we need to do the grub install. Yes. Oh, we've already moved.
Where are we actually?
Did you reboot already?
No, I want to do it.
Oh,
right.
Well, at least that, so grab install, you can grab it on.
You need that Okay, sorry, I skipped that one. We need the grub install command.
A really short.
Make sure you do grub
Yes,
install.
it's a really short one. It's just this one right
Oh,
here.
it's already rebooted.
Cool. I mean, I didn't grab.
No error
Sitting on
report?
the GNU.
Grub dash install
It auto installs.
slash dev slash SDA. And then
Very
we
short.
need to do the, what was it, grub dash
Well, I do a snapshot.
MK
Okay, config.
dash O slash slash grub slash grub.cfg. Okay. Okay, once we run those two commands, we're ready to do a reboot and see if it comes back up.
So we need to run the.
No errors.
So you can just do a reboot right here.
Well, you could, yeah, but the thing is, it's gonna keep you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then you do your progress message. Watch it. Here we go. Oh my God.
Did you get a prompt?
Yeah, no, I'm at the login.
Hey, yo.
You're in the login prompt. Okay, can you log in? Try your password.
We got a little.
Yeah.
I'm soliciting.
Wait, was using your root?
So.
What happened?
I'm before the grub install.
Oh, are you still waiting for that to finish?
Yeah.
So you need to like.
Spicy boy
You created a user account.
As in like a user account?
Oh my God.
No.
Oh, that's something.
I missed. Yes. I missed. Oh,
Yes.
Never
So you can actually
Yeah.
check over here.
Take a snapshot.
Okay, so I checked it on Gentoo, but Gentoo never saved my partition for the disk, so I had to start all the way back there, specify or and repartition the disk, and now go back there.
Oh,
We're gonna be here for a while. Once you do that, have roll command.
My password.
Leave it running.
Oh, no. I don't know my password.
What's the login?
okay, whether you reboot work or not. Okay, we're done for the day. If it didn't work, we'll do some debugging on it on Monday to try and figure out what's going wrong. Okay? If you rebooted, you can shut it down, you can take snapshots.
Is that good?
I don't know the login.
What's our login? I don't know.
It's root and then the password you made earlier.
Oh, that's.
Yeah,
That other password wasn't the same. Oh, there we go. I had to use the very secure password.
Yes. Root exists.
Okay,
Now we snapshot.
those of you who got it to work, congratulations on building your very first Gentoo system. Yeah, I'll go over to
Oh, you're gonna do that.
Gentoo tab. Your SSH ten. Leave that alone.
Go, yeah. See what I have here.
Way down here.
Reboot your system.
After immerse or website.
System admins, just when they need something in the installation, they don't need this command. They just build a system like this, run this command. They're like, go, go, go.
Go back over to your.
There's a lot going on.
I forget to.
SSH will probably work. Now they not trying to get it to one.
I love how fast people figure stuff out. It's honestly.
Oh, okay, that's supposed to be Snapchat before you.
Oh, that's supposed to be.
I have a Snapchat.
Oh.
Not from that.
So, let's do it on Monday. Okay, but I know that there, okay, remember what you need to be, so you're gonna have to move a couple of lights to one, get back in, change the name. Okay? Okay, let's do that on Monday. Hey, thanks, everyone. Busy week. Okay, you guys are all troopers for hanging in there. Okay, complicated process, but we've had some success. So,
We've had a lot of success.
Couple fails.
It just took a while.
Oh, God.
So, yeah. Didn't take quite this long, but we're there. We got there.
Random screenshots on my desktop. Why do we get
Yeah,
about that?
success. So, all right. Have a good weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.
Oh. Well, have fun with that.
Yeah, I,
What? Hey, Matt, what are we feeling from this?
Yeah, that's okay.
I like it.
There you go.
I don't like it.
What am I gonna upload the video?
Like I made
As soon as I get back to my office.
Get in there at all.
So I've got